All I got in advance of doing this reading was the line, "Your souls have history." That's why it feels so intense and surreal. If you tuned into my last reading that I know many of you resonated with, called "They Know More Than You Think They Know," in that reading video, I said that if there was an interest, we would be diving deeper into the soul history that you have with the person who came up in that reading. So today we're going to be doing just that. We are going to be taking a really deep level look at what is going on between you and this person, spiritually and energetically. I am going to get as specific as I possibly can in this video, but what that also means is different specific details are likely to resonate with different people and different groups of people. So especially when it comes to such a hyper-specific reading as this one, always be sure to use your intuition and only take the messages that really I'm hearing strike you emotionally, that strike a chord with you in an emotional way. Because a message that was coming through very strongly that doesn't just apply to this situation, but to your life and your expansion right now as well, is that the way you powerfully propel yourself forward is by following the feeling, by following what lights you up, following the emotion of something. So when it comes to this connection, it's the emotional resonance that tells you whether or not something is true for you, whether it's really aligning for you. Now, in that first reading, we talked a lot about what was happening between you and this person physically. And in addition to that, we talked a bit about their thoughts and feelings. And I'm sure that some of that will be intermingling with this reading as well. So we may dive back into their headspace and their emotions in a really real-time, up-to-date kind of way. But I am setting the intention that for this particular video, we're going to go deeper into the spiritual side of this connection. Because what I said in that first reading is you and this person have a very ancient bond. And I'm going to restate what I stated previously as the title of this video. Your souls have history. That's why it feels so intense and surreal. What I'm getting about this specific connection is the way things are on the surface, or the way things appear on the surface, cause you both to be surprised by the depth here, emotionally, energetically, and spiritually. It's almost as though, to your conscious mind, whatever has taken place physically between you doesn't seem to correlate to the intensity of what you're feeling for each other. Now, isn't it interesting that I'm saying what you're feeling for each other? Because the word mutuality is coming out. I got the name Tom for someone. That also could just be the letter initials T-O-M, or the name Thomas, letter initials. Also, we could add H, A, and S to that as well. Right as I begin to tap into this, it's almost like we're entering into this deep, bottomless kind of cavern. And maybe that's how this connection feels too. I'm seeing a cave. I don't know if a cave is significant. Also, when the two of you met or connected, somehow it could have felt like you were almost entering into this sacred cave together, where there was this space all your own. But I'm also getting something about an echo, and how hearing an echo caused you to be able to actually hear yourself more clearly in this metaphorical cave. So there's something about the way that you interact with this person that causes you to feel as though you are the only two people in the room, like you're in a cave, even if you're in a crowd, or even if you're out in public. And what I'm getting is there's something about what you echo back to each other that is very spiritually significant. So I'm going to go ahead and use this as a starting point here. I do have my coffee today, so if you hear me taking sips in the background here and there, that's what that is. I hope you have some kind of comforting, warm beverage or an iced beverage, depending on what the weather's like where you are, or something to snack on while you're listening to this reading. I would love to know what you're eating or drinking while you're tuning in. But I am going to be combining spiritual downloads that come through in the reading, along with tarot and pulling from some of the energy oracle decks to go as deep as we possibly can into, I'm hearing all different aspects of what's going on between you and this person spiritually. So yes, we're going to be talking about your past life history and themes throughout your past life history, but we're also going to be talking about the spiritual meaning of this connection in this lifetime as well. So spiritually, how you've had an effect on each other and why you've connected in this lifetime, as well as some of the energetic dynamics taking place between the two of you that right away I'm hearing could be leading to some really strange signs, symptoms, sensations, like mentally, physically, or emotionally, that may be really difficult to understand. I heard something about Russia. Maybe that country is relevant to one of you, or possibly in a past life. So let's go ahead and use this as a starting point. Keep in mind, when we get into the specifics of past life dynamics, I might bring up very, very specific details from those past lives for some of you listening. Those will connect in literal ways for some of you, but for many of you, there may be thematic ways it connects. So in a more like broad symbolic sense, there may be themes from those past life specifics that connect with you, even if those literal details don't connect. So, okay, let's start with the energy oracle cards. I just keep hearing it's mutual. I feel like if there's one thing this person's soul or their higher self would want you to know right now, I saw crayons for some reason. Maybe this speaks to somehow how you inspire each other creatively, or with like, it's almost like you inspire each other's inner child. There's this playfulness, this lightness about your bond in this lifetime. But also that could represent that someone here is an artist. Maybe you draw or sketch or something of that nature. Okay, so of course, the first card is contract in the reverse position. What's interesting is I actually intended to talk first about themes from your past lives, but what came through immediately struck me as also connecting with your present lifetime dynamic. So what that tells me is I'm hearing there's a repeat theme. Okay, that makes sense. So yes, this is a past life spiritual reason that the two of you have connected in past lives, but it also is being repeated in this lifetime, which is why it's coming up to answer both questions. I'm also getting there are going to be several different themes that come through here. So this isn't going to be just one thing. Part of why this connection has been, I got the name Lily, or just letter initials L-I-L, also L-E-L-A-H, like Layla or something like that. I don't know. Okay, so keep in mind when I channel letters, because letters have been coming through a lot in recent readings, these don't have to spell names for you. It could spell words, cities, places, details, like significant things for you in one way or another. Kind of like a little crossword puzzle or something like in the reading that can help you connect dots more specifically through these letters. So I'll let you know when letters or numbers come through that could be significant for you, or if there's like something very, very specific, like a specific word or name or detail coming through as well. Okay, so the contract card reversed is about, I'm hearing breaking each other free of old cycles, patterns, and habits that have been keeping you stuck in some kind of way by showing you something different and altering the entire trajectory of your lifetime, maybe not in ways that are immediately obvious, but in ways that are ultimately forever impactful. And I feel like that's really significant because I'm getting that in the physical realm, it may not be immediately obvious to you that you've broken this person out of a karmic contract or out of some kind of pattern or cycle or phase of their life, because the breaking free happened energetically. And the physical sometimes takes time to catch up. And so it's almost like you freed this person from something mentally and emotionally by showing them that something different was possible, but you may not be confident that you did this. And that might be part of why it's coming up in this reading as a confirmation. Like, yes, I'm hearing message received, like the message was received. The mission was accomplished. Like you freed this person mentally, emotionally, or physically from something. I'm hearing just by being yourself. Interesting. Just by some way that you showed up. I got the word ruby. So I'm going to go ahead and channel more into this. But once again, I'm getting it emphasized that everything we talk about here is actually mutual, even if it's more subtle or less noticeable for one party. So whenever I talk about a way in which you are freeing this person from a pattern or a cycle or a dynamic, I'm hearing it's mirrored in some way in your own life as well, but it might be more noticeable in one party than the other. I'm hearing one might show it more physically or on the surface, and the other might experience it more subconsciously or spiritually. But I do feel that you both revealed something to each other. I'm hearing you revealed your true face to each other. Your true face, interesting, like your true self, your natural self, your core soul self. And you didn't even do this intentionally. I'm hearing it was inevitable. It just came out when you were around each other. There's something about the voice here. Maybe this happened through a conversation. Maybe there's something about your voice that this person found very familiar. Yeah, the word familiar is coming out here also. I'm seeing something about trains, so that could connect. Also something about a bike as well. I feel with the star card at the bottom of the deck that this was some kind of mutual spiritual renewal that took place. But I'm getting that it wasn't necessarily a smooth ride spiritually and emotionally. I actually feel like it was very disruptive and almost jarring for the both of you, maybe even chaotic. It seemed to create some chaos. I'm hearing interference in your field energetically. It created a sense of, I'm getting like strong urgency, restlessness, ungroundedness, feeling untethered. And it's almost like you both had to process that as well. I know we're getting a bit into what may have happened between you and the physical. I knew things were going to kind of get intertwined, but I'm just going to trust the process here because I feel like there's so much information to unpack here. And I want to make sure we do this situation justice by really looking at it from all angles and channeling as deeply as we can. I'm seeing something about I'm seeing a white piece of clothing. I don't know why, but I know that in a symbolic sense, this could represent that renewal or that rebirth. I'm hearing being washed clean of something, almost like a spiritual baptism, like a major moment of a turning point where there's everything that came before meeting and everything that comes after. And it all is divided by this moment where the two of you renewed each other in some way. But again, it was not easy. It wasn't easy to process this. In fact, for many of you, you may still be processing this. This other person may still be processing this. I got the name Charles. I have to know more about what you each... Okay, let's just unpack this point by point because there's so much to say here. And again, I really want to do this justice. I know many of you asked for this in the comments section, and I want to fully answer every point that I possibly can here. So I want to talk first about what you freed each other from. And we'll see what comes up here, whether it's specific or general. What was the pattern, dynamic? I'm hearing sameness, monotony, boredom even. But it's not a literal boredom, it's a soul boredom. Like everything just feels the same. Everyone sounds the same. I'm hearing everything superficial. I'm seeing someone looking at the world through skeptical eyes. I saw brown eyes for someone as well, or hazel eyes. That could be resonant. But I saw that, and specifically it seemed like a masculine. Now, of course, we all have a balance internally of masculine and feminine energy. So take that as you will. But I feel as though I'm speaking about the person that you are connected to, you who are listening to this reading. The person you're connected to, they seemed to be looking at the world through skeptical eyes. I'm not sure why I'm getting the word perfectionism, but they were looking at the world through skeptical eyes. And I'm getting letter initials A, K, and R. Everything felt the same to them. This is that soul boredom we're describing, going through the motions, especially when it comes to people. I'm hearing living with a dream. This feels like someone who's very much a dreamer or a visionary in some sense. Someone who believes in the best in others and in the world, or wants to believe that. But they've come across many surface level people, many superficial people, or even people who seem to be anti-dreamer in a sense, who seem to be against them as this dreamer or visionary. And I'm hearing it created almost an artificial pessimism in this person. Again, they're naturally a visionary, they're naturally a dreamer, but I almost feel like life hardened them a little bit emotionally in a way that's unnatural to their soul. And they wondered, I'm hearing, is there still good out there? I know this sounds really heavy, but this is how it's coming through on this person's energy. And I'm getting the name Morgan for someone, but something about meeting and connecting with you caused this person to believe again, to believe in goodness. But it's more than that. There's a layer deeper here. I almost feel like this person is holding this detail close to their chest. Like they're saying, you helped me believe in the goodness in the world, but their soul is still holding something deeper than that. There's something else. There's a layer deeper that I'm hearing you healed this person's perspective, their mindset on humanity, just by being yourself. That came out earlier, but it's being re-emphasized. Yeah, this is someone who had given a lot of themselves to the world, whether it's that they've been this dreamer or this visionary and they've been trying to accomplish something in the world or share something with the world. But I feel like they have been involved with people who have used them for leverage. That word leverage is coming out, or taken advantage of their kindness or their open spirit in some way. And this, again, kind of artificially hardened this person's emotions and energy and made them a little bit guarded in a way that is not natural to their spirit, because their spirit naturally sees the best in others and in the world and wants to see those types of qualities. But something about their experiences caused this, like, I keep hearing it referred to as an artificial pessimism, like it's not natural to this person's soul. I'm also getting with the Six of Wands reversed that they may have felt very disappointed by life. They may have been, again, I get the sense of someone who doesn't feel recognized for what they've been giving, whether that's just like in past relationships or connections that they weren't feeling like the energy they were putting into them were being reciprocated, or if it's just speaking more even broadly to them feeling like they were sharing their heart and their soul with the world, and the world wasn't recognizing that or wasn't reciprocating that, or even maybe they felt like they were, I'm hearing failure. Maybe they felt like a failure. I'm getting Leo energy from someone here. I feel like this is someone who's used to really imbalanced dynamics. I'm hearing what happens when two givers come together. I got the name Henry for someone as well. What I'm feeling is that you both may have experience, because as I'm channeling into this, I feel like some of you are listening, like I saw curly, long blonde hair for someone, but I feel like some of you are listening and thinking, wait a second, this is describing me. Like maybe for some of you listening, you feel like you've often been a giver and you've been met with imbalanced dynamics where the kind of love, the kind of heart and soul and energy that you pour into friendships, into people, and just out into the world isn't always seen for what it is. It isn't always appreciated. And I'm hearing the most beautiful gift that you and this person gave each other was the gift of being seen mutually. I'm hearing one expressed it, but both felt it. Maybe there was something that one of you vocalized, whether it was you or this person. I feel like someone said something out loud like, wow, I feel so understood, or I feel so seen, or maybe someone expressed feelings or expressed admiration, but both felt it. I'm hearing whoever said this was speaking for both of you. There was like a mutual soul nod in agreement, whether that happened literally or not. One person expressed it, but both people felt it. So, okay, what else can I channel here? Let's talk about another. So the way that you freed each other is by showing each other that I'm hearing love doesn't always have to feel like sacrifice. It can feel natural. It can feel easy and mutually giving. You can be refueled and poured back into as much as you're giving outward, either in the world. I mean, this feels like it was, I'm hearing unspoken romance for many of you. Like, it may have never been said aloud. It may have never looked romantic on the surface, but I'm hearing like there's a deep soul romance going on. And by the way, so much what I can only describe as electricity flowing between you. And I'm hearing something about a brush, like brushing or quickly touching, or like, I feel like there may have been a moment where you were very close in proximity physically. Maybe your arms brushed, or like you touched in a very innocent, platonic, small way. And it was, I'm hearing an activation in that moment. It was extremely charged. It feels like it jolted awake something within each of you, even in that really small touch. And the words I'm getting are surprised and scared. So it's almost like the reaction to this small touch both seemed to surprise and also scare both of you, or at least the fear may have been triggered in this other person. Maybe it was both of you that felt a little scared and a lot surprised by how jolted awake you felt. And that's the best way I can say it. A small touch jolted you both awake here. Awake to what though? Yeah, it revealed some kind of truth with the Seven of Swords in the reverse position. The Ace of Swords as well. I feel like I'm hearing sudden clarity, but then no options. Or it's almost like when I look into what happened here, there was some sudden moment of breakthrough mentally, emotionally. There was a shared realization that was never spoken, but was felt on both sides. I got Michigan for someone. Something about a river as well. But there was a shared realization. I keep getting letter initials SORLAV. This could be in someone's first or last name. But then all of a sudden there was like this I'm hearing the moment there was that full shared recognition, there was this snap back to reality, like waking up from a dream on the cold, hard pavement is what I'm getting here. Coming back to reality, feeling like you're coming back to your senses, but you're left with the mark of the dream is what I'm getting. You're left with the lingering effect of something that was, I'm hearing it was dizzying. Like it was so powerful. It left both of you reeling, but also facing some kind of cold, hard reality, but feeling changed is what I'm getting here. So let's reshuffle the cards here. And we've been talking a lot about the energetics in this lifetime, but I feel everything that we're talking about, that the two of you are sharing or experiencing in this life, has a past life counterpart, meaning it's always mirroring or matching something that actually occurred in a past life. And so what I'm getting is the two of you on a spiritual level. I'm seeing a timer. I feel like this connection was perfectly timed in this lifetime, but I am seeing someone almost laughing at that, thinking, but the timing felt so off. But I keep hearing the guides say it wasn't. It was actually perfect timing. Maybe that's where that perfectionism or that word perfect came in. Like this was actually absolute perfect timing because, wow, okay, I'm getting so many goosebumps right now, but I'm hearing someone was about to make a decision that was going to put them on a certain trajectory in their life that would be counter to their soul's destiny. I don't know what that means for you, so I hope that holds meaning for someone listening. Maybe you were the one about to make some kind of decision. Maybe this other person was. I'm getting the word trust. Maybe that's a sign for someone to trust the timing. Also just hearing the word jewel, but this also could be like the jewel on a piece of jewelry or a ring. Maybe someone was about, this is so specific for someone listening, there was someone involved in a romantic connection with another person, and they were about to make a major decision to either like propose or to maybe have children with that person, or to just make that relationship more grounded, more official, to take it in a more involved, more committed direction. And for some of you listening, that could have been you, that could have been the other person, but it's like someone was going to move forward in that way with someone, but I'm getting the word half-hearted. And I'm feeling the message come through. It was tolerable to be half-hearted when I didn't know I could love with my whole heart. But now it's inconceivable to imagine moving forward half-hearted when you lit up my entire being, when you lit up my whole heart. So for some of you listening, quite literally, someone here was in another relationship or connection and it felt half-hearted to them, but they were going to make the decision to move forward with it anyway in a stronger way that was going to alter the trajectory of their life. And you came in and altered that trajectory, even if they're still, or you're still with this person, again, however it works. I feel like something here was revealed. I'm seeing something about Paris or the Eiffel Tower, but I feel that something here was revealed that is altering the trajectory of both of your lives, aligning both of you more with your personal soul's destiny. Because ultimately, there's now clarity about something or someone or a dynamic that has to be left behind. Whether or not that choice is being made in the physical to leave it behind right now, the choice has been made internally not to move forward with it. And so I'm hearing like the ending is inevitable. Interesting. So if, for example, this other person is the one in some other connection or relationship and they're still with this person, I feel like there's almost like a timer now on that connection because they've experienced loving with their whole heart and it changed them. I'm hearing this love altered them on a cellular level. It changed them because I'm hearing like a full body experience, a full soul experience, like nothing they felt before. And it's now not going to allow them to move forward with some kind of original plan. That's what I'm hearing here so strongly. I know we're getting very specific. So again, spiritually speaking, even though the timing looked most likely awful on the surface, it most likely looked like ill-fated timing, the opposite is actually true. It's just hard to see from kind of an on-the-ground 3D perspective. But from a higher perspective, you actually met at the perfect time. I'm hearing the only time that this could occur. I'm hearing you got each other alone. I don't know what that means. Maybe the reason you had to meet at this point in time was because it allowed you both to enter into that cave, metaphorically, that we referenced earlier. I feel like it got someone, or maybe got both of you, distanced from some kind of person or dynamic that you had to be away from in order to have this full spiritual, like soul romance experience with the other. Even again, if it was unexpressed, not acted on, and not vocalized, the soul romance was still an experience happening. And it couldn't have happened if you hadn't gotten each other alone. And this was the only window of time for that to have occurred. But there is that sense of returning back to some kind of cold, hard reality here. I'm hearing it's making me question what's real and what's not, because what we shared felt more real in some way than this whole quote unquote reality that I'm now experiencing. I'm hearing, was it the most real thing I've ever experienced in my life, or the only real thing, or was it just a dream? But this person's soul knows, even as they're contemplating that on some level, this was the most real thing that their soul has ever experienced. When I say that, I'm speaking to the fact that, as we said earlier, they've been met by a lot of superficial people and connections. I just keep hearing, like, show me something real. You connected with a core part of this person's self in a way that felt almost familial, like in a way that only their closest family could know them, but actually even deeper than that, even deeper than family, like reaching into this absolute core aspect of this person's soul. And again, this has to do with that soul history that we keep referencing, and we're kind of slowly unraveling that picture. But when it comes to channeling into these past life experiences, it often has to be this sort of slow unraveling process, because there's so many different kind of interwoven threads of energy here. But let's go ahead and get into that. So, okay, with the Three of Swords, the Emperor, and the Hierophant, and then the Eight of Swords reversed, I'm getting that in a past life, this may even be speaking to multiple past lives, like a theme here. There is a dynamic where I'm hearing there's some kind of power imbalance in terms of either finances, status, public like visibility. There's some kind of maybe even like age gap. I feel like there's certain power imbalances in the connection. Typically, when you connect through lives with the Emperor, I feel like often one person is elevated in some sense, either in terms of status, in terms of like career, finances. I get the sense of someone being very established, or again, this could be like an age gap, or just some kind of difference in the physical worlds. And someone seems to be typically, or maybe both of you, in a very committed or long-term kind of connection with the Hierophant. Now, if this isn't another connection or another person, this also could be one of you being involved, or maybe they're just being like a cultural difference or a belief system difference, like something about the way that your lives are established or your relationships are established seems to naturally create some kind of wall or barrier. But the thing I'm getting is that there's this underlying soul sense, and again, I'm speaking to past life themes here, of being trapped within that structure, within those walls, whether it's, again, like another relationship or connection, whether it's a certain belief system, a certain kind of culture, or whatever it is. I feel like often someone is established in something that actually has them feeling trapped, and something about this connection becomes an escape, either mentally or literally, where it's a way out, a way to displace all of that fire, is what I'm hearing. It's almost like someone holds this secret soul fire within themselves that longs for more beyond the confines of this traditional wall, and the other person becomes like the symbol of that freedom, becomes the symbol of breaking out of those walls, breaking free of those dynamics. Because with the lovers, I just keep hearing soul fire, like you light a soul fire in each other throughout lifetimes. And with the lovers card as well, I feel like there's always this very, very deep, intense, and extremely passionate, but often unspoken or unexpressed soul romance happening behind the scenes, happening, I'm hearing behind the curtain, like beneath everything. With the Three of Swords, though, I also feel that this tends to come with a lot of secretiveness, even trying to keep things from oneself, being afraid to fully feel everything that's going on here because of the implications or the consequences. But there's always this like heartbreak there as well, this aching for each other, this longing that again seems to be very secretive in nature. Can I get any more information on these past life themes between the two of you? The Five of Swords and the Moon. Yeah, so I'm hearing what you and this person are processing now in this lifetime. For some reason, I'm hearing the closest we've ever been. But I don't feel like that's speaking physically, because I feel that you've had many lifetimes where there's been a lot of closeness, a lot of connection physically, maybe even more so than there's been yet in this lifetime. But when I say we're the closest we've ever been, I feel like that means in this lifetime, there is an opportunity, or there could be for some of you an opportunity to actually, I'm hearing to break free, to actually stabilize this or connect in a different way that you weren't able to in those past lives because of restrictions or convention. Not to say it's easy in this lifetime, because it seems to still be very difficult. And I will say the emotional processing this time around may be more intense than it's ever been. I'm hearing because your souls are ready for it. It's like your souls have evolved to the point where the reason you're feeling so much energetic intensity is you're both on a soul level trying to metabolize and process as much of this energy as you can in this lifetime, in the hopes that possibly you could merge this in a more real-time way in this life. You could kind of break with that past life pattern of it always being secretive, it always being this longing beneath the surface, and actually break free together in some way in this lifetime, if you choose to do so. I'm hearing possibilities are here that have never been here before. And that's also why most likely one major trademark of this connection is you've probably been feeling a lot of urgency around it from the very beginning. A lot of this sense of, I have to meet this person. I have to connect with them. I really need to see them again. It's almost like your soul has been urging you forward into connecting with this person, speaking with them, or being around them, because it knows then you're going to be receiving all of this energy transfer from their soul and vice versa. And this processing can potentially happen a lot more quickly, which could bring about some kind of like stabilization of your bond that again wasn't possible in past lifetimes. So wow, there's so much coming through here, and yet there's some sense that we're just scratching the surface, which means this is a connection that is extremely multi-layered, multifaceted, and quite beautiful, to put it in simple terms. So I'm going to continue this channeling into the extended reading, and we're going to keep taking a look at other spiritual themes and dynamics that you have with this person from past lives and how those are connecting with this current lifetime as well. I will also be just looking at this bond from every angle I can in that extended reading and channeling through any other information about this person that wants to come through. So if this has been connecting for you and you'd like to go deeper into all of this in the extended reading, I will leave a link to that in the pinned comment and description box under the video. You can watch from either Patreon or YouTube memberships, just depending on your preferences. So I will leave both of those links below. But otherwise, I'm going to go ahead and close this reading here. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for tuning in today. If you do want to stay connected here and be updated when I post new content on this situation or other dynamics that could be relevant for you, then of course, I would love for you to subscribe to the channel, join our beautiful community here on YouTube. You can also follow me on Instagram. My Instagram is @magnetizeyourself. And I also want to share that if this reading is connecting for you, this thread of energy we've been channeling into actually comes through in a song that I channeled, wrote, and sang as well. I've just recently released this song. It's the very first one that I'm releasing under my new music project called Songs by Infinity, where I'm going to be taking some dynamics and threads of energy from these reading videos and actually transferring them into song form. So the song title is Go On to New York. And again, my artist name is Songs by Infinity. I will leave a link under this video so that you can check it out on Spotify and read the lyrics and also follow me there if you would like to get updated whenever I post new music that I really feel, I mentioned this in a previous video, but I strongly feel that my second song is most likely going to be related to this thread of energy as well, but kind of from a different angle. So I'm really excited to share that with you all soon. And again, you can follow all of my music on Spotify, and I will leave a link to that below. Otherwise, I'm going to go ahead and close this reading. Thank you so much. I hope you have a beautiful start to your week, and I will connect with you here again in Wednesday's reading.